Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Align, where we help you align with your true self, others, and your true desires to live your best life. So as you guys, most of you probably watched the episode with dating apps, from the female perspective, the ladies' perspective. The men have spoken and they also want to put it their 2 cents on dating apps. So today we have Scotty. Scotty,
how you doing?
And Juan.
Thanks for having me.
Hey there.
And
How's it
awesome.
going?
So again, refresher, why are we doing this? Obviously through COVID, it's been hard to meet people in person and not everyone's an expert with online dating. So we definitely want to make it a lot easier for people who are either new, not that good on it, with some tips and tricks, right? So these are the male perspective for female profiles. And also, you never know who you're going to meet, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be romantic. Like for example, Scotty and I met on Hinge. And we built a friendship since, and we put our friend group together, like what? We did a mixer 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was great.
Super fun. The ladies loved it. So
You're great friends.
Thank you. And Juan, we met because 2 of our friends met on an app. I don't know which one. But then we hit it off, and now we're doing our mixer too. So this weekend. So, lesson learned, guys. You never know who you're going to meet. There's a lot of good people, so don't be afraid of online dating. With that said, guys, are you ready to dive in and kind of give your 2 cents about online dating?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Ready.
All right, let's go. So first and foremost, let's start with pictures because we're all visual and that's what we first see. What stands out to you on dating profiles? Juan, you want to start?
Yeah. So I think like let me just start with like group photos because I think this is the most glaring and obvious one. So I think, group photos, you get one. That's all you get. And I should be able to know by the time I get to it who you are. So like your first and second photo should just be of you, preferably no sunglasses, just like a very clear photo of like your face and like who you are. I think that's your first impression. So it should be genuine.
Love that. Scotty?
I think that's very important too. Yeah, I mean, you should be clear about like, it shouldn't be blurry. Like Juan said, no sunglasses. I think if you are showing your body, like that's great. It's important to know.
Yes.
I think, I don't know. I mean, for me, a lot of people like to edit their photos, and I think like, it's something that I can see or that I can notice. So be authentic in your photos, and funny. I mean, I think your photos can definitely show your personality too. So if you've got photos that are really funny captions, goofy outfits, I think that could speak a lot too. That can be a big bonus.
I like that. I was going to say, and just to, as a female, I'm going to support the whole full body picture, right? Because I know more guys get catfished than girls. I don't think I've met a single guy who's been on an app who hasn't gotten catfished. So ladies, it's not rude of the guy if he stops talking to you or doesn't show up on his date when he realizes you don't look like your pictures because you lied to him, right? So he's not a jerk for not showing up or not, staying because you lied. So I want to be really clear, guys, you're going to have to meet up in person eventually. So don't lie with how you look, your weight, the whole 9 yards, your height, you name it. And Scotty, I want to clarify, do you mean filters or like?
Well, I think a lot of people edit, I guess, filter. A lot of people like edit the way their figure is. And, I think a little editing is totally normal in this day and age. But the more editing there is and the more disparity I see from photo to photo, like the more suspicious I am as a swiper.
Yeah, same here. I think like the blurry pictures piece is a good call out, Scott. I think like, most of us have smartphones. So I don't understand where this potato quality of photos is coming from.
Yeah.
But then, like I want to be sensitive to like the filters piece as well, though, because like there is obviously societal pressures with women to like portray themselves in specific ways. But we also do notice, like I think Scott, as you said that as well, where I can tell when your face has been smoothed out and there's no wrinkle, there's no difference between your jawline and your neckline. Like those things are easy for us to see. So I think the way to actually portray yourself to be like in a photo is to exude your confidence. I think showing your confidence and showing confidence in your body or like your physique or like who you are I think that gets you 90% of the way there, because
Yeah.
like your profile is very visual. So like exuding confidence in your profile is like the best way to present yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And Juan, you had some thoughts about the video call out of how
Yeah.
adding. Yep.
I honestly I never thought to like include a video of myself, but I think it kind of speaks more to like being able to present your body language, right? Inherently through communication, like we all communicate so much more with our body language. So being able to actually put in a video, like that's not something I've ever done on my profile, but I immediately, as I heard it, I like started scrolling back to my phone to see if I had any good ones.
Yeah.
I don't, but I'm gonna work on that and see if I can put like some dance moves in there.
Right. Scotty, what do you think?
Videos are great. I should have a video too. I don't know. I'm always like, I always feel embarrassed. I ask my friends to take more pictures of me than anyone else in my friend group, which is already a lot. I think getting like a good video just takes even more cinematic skill. But yeah, something to work on. Yeah, no, I appreciate videos a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I would say even, for example, there are many times when I'm going through profiles and like, I don't know, pictures are not doing it either. And no offense, like guys are just not really good at taking pictures, right? Like girls will have,
Not at all.
right? They go out and like, there's,
No.
you know this, there's certain girls like, oh my God, let's take like 1,000 photos, right? So they have inventory. You guys don't. And if anything, I think we get reverse catfished. So if anything, guys actually look better in person. And so videos actually show more of you, which is why I recommend like, hey guys, if you have shitty photos, just throw in a video, right? So, okay. Juan, you also had some thoughts on black cocktail dress.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this. I don't remember who it was, but it was someone was talking about like what photos like you should have, and like yeah, the body pic is like bikini pics are pretty normal, I would say. Like a lot of women like to throw those on their profiles. But if like maybe you're not, I don't know, maybe if you're not as comfortable putting that, like a black cocktail dress photo will just say just as much as a bikini photo in my opinion, and it'll also kind of give me an idea of like who's going out with me on a special date. So I think that's a really like strong move to put on a profile.
I like that. And Fidan said that. She is
Oh.
the best. Yep. Scotty.
Yeah, she also said some other stuff. We'll talk about more
we're
stuff.
getting there. We're getting there. Scotty, what else? Anything else you want to highlight for?
Listen, I would suggest if you're uncomfortable taking a picture in like a bathing suit or something that shows a little more skin. I mean, what I do with my dating app is like, if I do something that seems a little edgy or I don't feel comfortable doing, I just do it anyways. And then, if it gets a lot of traction, then I keep it. And if it doesn't, then I change it up.
Yeah, I like that. That's true. And then last thing is when you talked about themes. Don't have so many themes, right? Don't have the same themes photos.
Like, I guess
what do you mean themes?
So it can be subjective, right? So like for me, like if I see a girl with like 3 photos of camping, or like 3 photos of fishing, and I'm like, that's not really my vibe. It's gonna like tank my interest pretty quickly, given that it's like such a prominent part of your profile. It has to be a very prominent part of your lifestyle. So I don't know, maybe like I think this goes to speaking to like knowing who your audience is. So if you're going for guys who really like to fish, like go for it. But for me, it's like it might be a little bit overload on just having like one main theme around like what you want to date,
right?
Like how you want to present yourself.
Scotty?
I would say themes. Listen, if you have a theme like you are a professional tennis player or used to be a professional tennis, I guess I love tennis, this would be a bad example, but if you've done something that's really impressive, maybe you're a Division I athlete and just graduated or something like that, I think that's great. You should definitely, or if you're Forbes 30 under 30 or something, have some picture of you public speaking and whatnot. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think if it's just like a hobby that you love to do, and you have like 3 good pics of you fishing, I would take one pic of you fishing maybe. Yeah, I agree with Juan.
Yeah, I also think that highlighting your success, though, I didn't think about it that way. That's a really good call out. I think that's like a really important thing to do, especially, I mean, I'm very interested in people who are like passionate about their work. So if I see them kind of presenting or doing something like they're proud about their work, I think that's a really good addition.
That's a really good point. I don't think all girls always think about that, right? That's a really good point. But on the counter, and I agree with you guys, if fishing and camping is really big in your life, you should put that, because then you should selection bias, right? The guys that are not interested will not swipe on you. So
Yeah.
what you guys say, like, be authentically you. If you're super, I'm making this up, if you're like super into wrestling, you're super into tennis, put more than one photo so people are like, wow, like this girl's like really into tennis. But you're just like kind of slumming it, like you're not that great, or you're like decent, maybe just one photo is enough, right? So be honest. Got it. Okay. Let's go to the profile itself. What are prompts, things that people put on their profile that attracts you to it? What do you like about it? Scotty, you want to start?
Okay. I would say, things I really hate are you talk about like being negative. People is being like X and XO, like so-and-so and so-and-so swipe left, so-and-so, so-and-so swipe left, like all fuck boys swipe left, like all, Trump supporters swipe left. I think that's just like, shit, I'm really just going to have to be a total simp to this lady my entire date if she's just like, no. So I think being positive, having high energy, making fun of yourself. I mean, definitely, I don't like personally like people that brag about themselves on their dating profile, people that are overly competitive about literally everything. I don't like that. Like, I think making fun of yourself, being funny, that's hard to do. Everyone's got a different sense of humor. I don't know. Like, I change my profile all the time. I don't know what the answer is, but for me, I think positive, funny, high energy. Those are the main things I care about.
And to your point about,
and not too serious. Not too serious.
Yeah, I agree. But to your point about, swipe left if you're this, swipe right. I kind of mentioned it the same. The girl said the same thing. If you're coming off already negative, why the hell would I want to take you on a date? Right? You should focus on swipe right if you like this, or swipe. You should be focused on the positive. If you're just like, swipe left if you're a fuck boy, if you're a fuck girl or whatever, right? Fuck boy. It's like, who hurt you that bad?
Yeah.
Like, you need to put in your profile, right? So don't do that. Don't do that. Plenty of decent.
Do you guys have that? Or a lot of guys have profiles?
Yeah. They're like swipe left if you're a gold digger, or swipe left if you, I don't know, or like aren't into fitness or what. It's just like stupid shit. It's just focus on what you guys want. Like swipe right if you're into fitness. Swipe right if you want a partner, like a equal partnership. I don't know, make it positive.
Yeah. The one I see a lot is from girls is the worst idea I've ever had is like being on Hinge. It's like, why are you even here then? Why are you even here? Like,
I know.
If you already are saying that you're not interested in this like platform. Or like being here, so like, what's the point of even engaging? I don't know. I agree. That, and also one word answers. I think that's like, you're automatically like, it's what Scott said, right? Like high energy, like one word answers is just, so it's such a half attempt at like actually being engaged on this app. And like, I get it if you don't want to be on it like throughout the day, you don't want to keep your own notifications on, and like you want to switch the conversation over to like your phone if you're actually interested in someone. But like the conversation points and the questions are like the areas of the of like the app where we can actually engage with you. You're literally giving us a like conversation starter. So like use that to your advantage. If you're not getting all the like matches that you want, you might want to review how you're actually like starting and like what engagements you're giving your guys. That's like a starting point.
I agree. So Juan, tell us, what do you like on profiles? What stands out to you? Thoughts on what the girls said too. You have a few thoughts.
Yeah. So I think it's just, it's your first impression, right? So when I'm looking at someone's profile, the first thing, I'll be honest, I look at is like all the photos. I just go through and I look at all the photos because I'm a guy, I'm a visual person. Like, I will then go back through and read the responses as well. The responses are really like, what can I actually open up to you, right? Like every girl hates when you just go and like start the conversation like, hey, what's up? Or like, how are you? Which, by the way, on Bumble, that's what every girl does, which is just the worst. It's the absolute worst. The whole platform is built to say like, okay, you can engage and open up with guys. And you're like, the only response that every like 90% of the girls have is like, hi, what's up? And we all know how much that sucks on both sides.
What if she goes, hey, Juan, smiley face, or like a cute, like a unique emoji. So it's not just a hi, it's a thoughtful, it's a little bit more.
Yeah, I just will usually just respond back with like that exact same thing, but just swap out her name.
Yeah.
Just to be like, okay, you sent it back to me. Now what are you gonna do with it? Like you kind of flip it
I
back
like
on
it.
them because it's just like, I would like to just get something more, right? I think that's a common complaint that I've heard for years from girls. And I think that's what Bumble had solved was that like they would be able to filter out from that sort of stuff. So realistically, I would want to hear like, I don't know, an interesting question or like respond to one of my questions. That's what all my profile questions are, like open-ended questions. They're things that you can actually engage with. They're not like closed-ended conversations.
I like that. Okay, okay. Let's talk. For example, one of the girls, I don't call her out, but mentioned wanting to know people's exact titles, like your exact title of your job.
Yeah.
So
There's so many like, VP at or like MD at bank that like, I see in profiles. I don't know. I feel very pretentious asking, oh, well, what? I guess you could ask like, what do you do? How's work going? I try not to talk too much about work right off the bat, because I don't know. I have shitty days at work. Like half my days at work are like shitty.
right.
I don't want to talk about it. And I don't want to turn into like a bragging fest, or if things are going really well, I don't want to turn it into like a bragging fest. I don't think that's very like classy. So
I agree.
I don't know. It is kind of checking out. A lot of profiles though are vague. I'm vague on mine. I mean, I guess I work at a very, very small company, so no one's ever heard of it.
Right. Juan.
I mean, I have feelings about this. I don't know. I'm like trying to. So I think it's annoying when I see like CEO of like unemployed. I'm like, okay, like I get you're trying to be funny with that. I just think it's kind of like, I don't know, it's a bit silly, but I don't know. I think that if like I put my title on there, not because I want a girl to like go like look up like my title and role in like Glassdoor or something like that. But it's because I'm proud of what I do. But at the same time, yeah, I agree with you, Scott. Like I don't really talk about my work like right off the bat. It's like kind of boring to a degree. But I like
Yeah.
what I do. It's not really like a big like the part that I'm most eager to learn about the other person. I would like to know that you're passionate about what you do, but there's like a whole other aspect to this person that is like not defined by their job that I would like to kind of dive in first.
Right, right. But I know in the back of your mind what you're asking and not asking out loud. Why they want your full title? They're Googling you at Glassdoor.
Yeah,
Right.
probably.
100%.
But it's also like part of the like, how deep do you Google? Like I stopped Googling years ago because you basically start creating this perception of who this person is before you even meet them. And whatever that perception is, it's not what the reality is. So you're automatically going to set yourself up to disappointment as soon as you meet them. Mm-hmm. So Googling too much about who the person is, like they're trying to find their stuff online. Like I'm very hard to find on social media, very hard to find. I made that specifically so that people don't do that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's like, I just don't think that Googling people ahead of time is really a good idea.
Mm. Scotty, what do you think about Googling? What do you think about, or like?
I think it's a waste of time. And I mean, they're so like swiping is so like mindless, and you can go through 100 swipes in what, like a minute, maybe a little more. And I mean, for me, at least the way it happens to me is I have a ton of matches. We're talking about like openers and like, I mean, my openers are not that creative and thoughtful because sometimes I'll match with someone who's gorgeous and love her profile. And then I'll spend like 5 minutes and like the best opener, come up with the perfect opener and not hear back. So I think that's like a waste of time. And the same thing is with like Google. Like I can talk with someone for 2 weeks, especially like during COVID when everyone's traveling and like lockdown and stuff like that. And I could Google them too if I wanted, but like I'm already I can talk to someone for 2 weeks and then never meet them. Like that happens all the time. So that's a huge waste of time, wasting more time like Googling them and learning more about them and being creepy at the same time. I don't know. Yeah. It's not my. So I try and limit the amount of interaction I have, like as much as possible before actually meeting.
I agree with
interaction and time spent on this person before I actually meet.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Yeah, I've never Googled, like before I want to date with someone, I've never Googled them. And Quan, I know you have thoughts on this too, on this, but for example, I only look people up when they put their Instagram on it, right? Like personally for me, I put my Instagram account because a profile only shows you, I don't know, 5 pictures, few prompts, whatever. And for someone who wants to do the homework and wants to get to know me in a better way, my social media is very me. I mean, you guys have me on social media. It's who I am. So because it's a clear reflection of who I am as a person, if you want to kind of get to know me a little bit better, see if we kind of the same things and interests or ways that we think about, here it is. Have fun, right? Go for it. What I don't think is weird is when you put your Instagram account, but then you're private. Then I'm like, what's the point, right? That's stupid. If you're public, then okay, great. People can kind of get to know you better. But Juan, why don't you like Instagram in the profile?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the one is like when you find out that they're private. I think that's one where all of a sudden I'm just like, why are you doing this? It just seems like you're just trying
But
to
they're public too.
get followers.
Yeah,
getting
if they're public too, it's the same thing. Like you can attach your Instagram right to your Tinge and you can see it all.
Yeah,
it's 100% for followers.
Yeah,
especially when they say like, oh, message me on Instagram. I mean, if I do that, if there's like some gorgeous girl with like, 500,000 followers, it's like message me on Instagram. Like I've tried it. Like I'll message them on Instagram, even if we match, and it's like no shot. So it's fine, whatever. I'll fall for it, and then I'll unfollow like a week later, and we're back to normal.
Yeah, I unfollow with like no worries. I unfollow people all the time. It's one of my favorite things to do. Be like, nope, I'm done with you. People are really bad about it, but I don't. I'm fine with that. But
I do audits. I'm with you.
I don't know. I think the other one that we talked about was like going back to the prompts piece. Like the type of things that I have on there right now. I have like, what's your bagel order? I think that's like a really good one, especially for New York. So like, this goes back to like reading your audience. Like everyone in New York has their own bagel order. Everyone feels pretty strongly about it. I get hits on that all the time. It's really easy for them to kind of jump in on that. And it kind of tells me like, are they vegetarian? Are they vegan? Are they like, I don't know, very into food? Or like, do they have like a specific spot that they really like to go to? It kind of opens up the conversation in multiple directions. The other one that I'm testing out right now is like very out there, and I don't know how it's going to work. But I basically, my question is like, how many 5-year-olds do you think you could take on at once? Just to see like who would actually engage with some dark humor. Not actually taking on 5-year-olds in any way, but like, I'm like, please be specific about your strategy. And just something like that that's like light and jovial that they can actually like engage with and start talking to me about, I don't know, something fun that's not like, hey, how was your week or how was your weekend?
Got it. Okay, well, we kind of touch on it a little bit, but now let's talk about what we don't like, right? We'll start with pictures. What are things that we don't like?
Like all group photos.
Right. Well, I feel like I like group photos because it just shows, in a group photo, you can tell like the chemistry of your friends, especially for guys, right? Like I want to see what your friends are like, right? Like I think you're not your friends, but you choose your friends, right? Your mind is basically a mashup of the closest 5 to 10 people in your life. So I want to see like, what are these people like? But I agree with you. I don't need like 5 group photos. Like I get it. You have friends, but yeah, I'm with you. You don't need a lot of them.
The one thing I would say there is make sure you're the most attractive person in that photo. Because like just naturally, if you're going to go and see a photo of a group of people and you're like, oh wow, there's a person I'm more attracted to in that photo, you're kind of screwed.
100%. Or like there shouldn't be a huge deviation, right? That's what I mentioned like in the girl version. Guys, if you have a super smoking guy friend who's like jacked, tall, everything, and then or with a celebrity, and then you're very shrimpy and not glowing, why do that to yourself? I don't get that. Right?
I mean, I've dated like really attractive people who've had just like supermodel girlfriends, and whenever I'm with all of them, I'm kind of miserable because I'm just like, I want to talk to your friend. Will you leave me alone? Like, can you make us a drink or something like that? Like, because I'm getting to know Jessica or so and so.
That is so funny. I was gonna say, Juan, wait. Wait, I was gonna say something with you about the model girlfriends thing. All right, never mind. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Okay. Anything else that you don't like about pictures?
Oh, we talked about like having pictures, like girls don't like when guys have pictures of them partying at like a bar.
Oh,
So like going back to like where we can take photos, the only time that I think guys are really ever taking photos is when they are at least a few drinks in.
yeah.
So I think it's, you know, a part of like where we're going to be able to show that we have friends. And it's also like in a normal bar setting, you know, would you want to make sure that you're a good time and that you're everyone wants to be like hanging out with the people that are smiling and laughing the most. So if like you're showing off like how you are socially with like your photos with your friends, I think I would kind of counter that one. And say like, yeah, having pictures of me like at a party or with like people and like enjoying my time, like I think that's important.
I agree. Maybe I agree with you. And then maybe if I could auto what the girls are mentioning, maybe they meant more like getting like you're at a club with the table and like bottle service, or you're like, you guys are doing, I don't know, you're just looking like you've been drinking a long, long time and being sloppy, right? I think that's what they mean, but I'm with you. If you that's, I want to see you in your element, right? And let's be real, in a bar and a party, that's when we're in our element. So I'm with you on that. I think bar pictures are fine. Scotty, anything else that you don't like about photos?
Well, similar to what I mentioned about like editing your, is it Facetune? Does Facetune edit your body? Like, what's the app there's an app that like people edit
There's
your
so
body,
many.
butt thicker. There's so many.
There's so many.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, other than like using that, you know, if you use it a little, I guess you can get away with it. If you use a lot, I'm gonna notice.
Yeah.
But also like, you know, the poses that are like really, really kind of like thoughty and that, like, you know, make your waist look super thin.
Yes.
Like, you know, where your legs, where they stand up
So
on their like
poses.
tippy toes and
Yep,
then like turn
yep.
around and like twist. And then like look into like the sun, maybe have like a finger, like, I don't know, like stuff like that. Like, you know, things where you're really trying to like make your body look like it's not, or pretty much that.
Got it. Contouring.
So like, yeah, just being authentic, like not trying too hard.
Yeah, I'm with you.
What I'm about.
What about prompts now? Anything, we talked about a few of it, but any prompts or things in the profile that you don't like? For example, remember how the girls mentioned location? Any thoughts on location? Are you guys you're more forgiving about that?
Well,
Scott, you go ahead.
no, so location, you mean lying about your location?
No, meaning, so not lying, meaning if a girl, like the girl said, hey, I'm not going to go anywhere above 14th Street, or I'm not going to Brooklyn, right? Girls would say things. Some of the girls said something like that. Do you guys have, I don't know, I only want to date within X amount of mile radius?
Yeah, I mean, like Jersey is tough. Like Hoboken's okay. Like, I mean, there are a lot of places. Yeah, if I need a car to get to you, I don't have a car.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to come to my neighborhood, that's great. Right. But
yeah, my radius is like what, I think 3 or 4 miles from like Clinton Hill. So I'm not really going out to, like, if you're in the upper west side or upper east side, like it's probably not, I'm probably not going to make a big effort to like, I don't know, go out. But I will say that if I ever do get to the point where I like want to go out with you, like I will, like my first 3 dates with that person will be in like whatever neighborhood that she's in.
Right.
I'm not making her come to, like, if she's in Manhattan somewhere, most of the time they're not crossing the bridge. So I'll like meet in West Village or somewhere that's like near her place, or like near her hood, so I can make sure that it's not like too inconvenient for her.
Juan, I'm Upper East. That me up next.
Oh man. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm Upper East. I think as an Upper East Sider, you got to be a little more flexible. You know, you got to be able to get in that subway and make the trek downtown.
Hey, it's worth it. It's worth it.
It's worth it. And I like going downtown. I have a good time.
That's true.
Well, I think you can meet in the middle to like downtown, but like you're not going to like, I don't know, maybe you are, maybe you're not, but do you go to like Clinton Hill, or do you go to like Bedside, or like go on a date with a girl?
No, I end up like, if she's gorgeous, I'll like, you know, match with them, and then we'll chat for a while, and then I'm just like myself, you know.
Okay.
And then it's not actually going to happen.
Yeah. That's fair.
All right. Sorry, I just had to put some light on it. I was looking like I was a serial killer. So all right, let's talk about once you match, right? We mentioned, hey, don't just go, hey, but once you match, how much conversation, how little videos or not to kind of screen, how, like, you know, what's a good level of like communication engagement before you decide you want to go on a date?
So I always do that as like the shortest amount of time possible conversing on that app is like ideal for me. Like if I could just be like, we matched and we will go get drinks, that would be perfect. But I know that's not how that works. So typically I will actually just engage with something that's on their profile. So one of the prompts, especially on Hinge, like I will usually respond to that, and I usually get the best response rate. Chat it up for like maybe an afternoon, a day or day and a half. I will, well, now with COVID, maybe we'll do like a little like FaceTime date, like a short 30 minutes, and then plan like an actual drink date, just to make sure we're not getting catfished or something. But yeah, I think that's like generally like my approach to this situation.
Scotty?
Yeah, ideally I would love to like just, you know, match, chat for like a second, you know, say a couple witty things and then like go on a date. Sometimes I'm like super busy, you know, and sometimes I've got like a lot of friends, or I'm traveling, or I've got other dates, and then I'm just gonna like string you along and like tease you for a little bit until I've got time. So I don't know. I think girls are pretty receptive. The girls I've matched with have been pretty receptive. Like when I ask them out, they're down. But sometimes I just don't have the time. So, and if I really like them and I think they're attractive and funny or whatever, like I'll keep talking to them as like a filler. But like, yeah, I haven't been in New York in like 2 weeks. So I'm still texting people, like I'm keeping things warm, but
Keeping things warm, I love that.
But
yeah, I think
yeah,
there's like a 2 week.
I can't make plans for a while.
What about like, do you not feel like there's like a 2 week window? There's like, you know, you got to go out for them and like within 2 weeks, so then it's kind of like toast.
Yeah, no, I'm losing them like day by day, without a doubt. I can feel it. I'm wasting my time, but you know, not giving up. I'll you know, I'll see it through.
But Juan, that's a really good point from a girl's perspective. If I haven't seen you in 2 weeks and you haven't really made an effort, like seeing me in person, not just texting here and there, you're gonna be off the bench, hands down.
Right.
Yeah, because I think it just shows how interested are you, right? Like if you can't make an effort to see somebody in 2 weeks, it's clear there's something else going on, right? And so
I'm traveling. What do you want me to do? I'm not there. I'm traveling.
No, well, okay, even that, right? Like, guys, you guys all agree with me. It's New York. Life moves on. And it's so interesting when guys
it's inevitable.
You know what I mean? When guys are like, oh my God, you're forgetting about me. It's been 2 weeks. I'm like, it's been 2 weeks. I forgot about you literally last week. Like, it was fun. It was great. But, you know, we digress.
Well, I think though that there's but the longest like I'll set up a date, like if I am traveling or like I am busy for this week, I'll be like, I will see you next Thursday, and it might be like today, Monday, and like and I'll try and carve out some time. But yeah, I might if it kind of goes past it, like I will just match with someone else and move along. Like I think women as well, like they probably have way more incoming messages than guys do, so just naturally. So I think like ultimately for them, like if they're not seeing any sort of response within a short time frame, like they're just going to find someone else because someone else is already knocking at the door.
Yeah. The other thing is I really do not like the Fridays, hey, what are you doing this weekend? And like, to be fair, I know like there's certain guys who, you know, kind of go with the flow and they plan things like literally on a Thursday or Friday. But if a girl has a life and she has friends and she's dating, she has options, her weekend is fully booked by Wednesday. So there's so many times, I don't know if you guys have the same experience, but have you ever reached out to a girl and like, hey, like, what are you doing this weekend? Let's get drinks. And it's like Friday. She's like, hey, sorry, I'll see you next week. Or are other girls more forgiving than me?
If I say, hey, what are you doing this weekend? They'll be like, oh, they'll tell me like a couple things.
Yeah.
And then Yeah, me too. Like if I'm saying on Friday, what are you doing this weekend? It means I mean, I definitely have plans on the weekend, but it's just a way to like kind of keep, if like I was saying earlier, if I have been like talking to this girl for like a week and I'm just like, oh God, like I gotta ask this girl out soon. Like it's a way to like keep the conversation going. It's a way to keep the conversation going. And then like maybe like, you know, I got some time on the weekend. She's not gonna tell me if I ask you what she's doing this weekend and she tells me what she's doing, she's not going to give me a list from like, you know, Friday afternoon to Sunday night of like stuff she's doing. Like I could definitely say, she says a couple things, like I could say, oh, well, Sunday morning, like you want to get drinks or like grab brunch or something like that. I don't know.
Juan?
That's my experience.
So I would just be like, I kind of lead the way. If it is like a Friday night and I'm trying to hang out with a girl over the weekend, I'm like, I'm doing this on Saturday, or like I'm having a party on Saturday. You should come through.
Yeah.
Like and bring your friends. Like I would do something that's a bit more like I'm inviting them instead of just asking them what they're doing. I would give them an option, because there's one of two things that happens. Either one, they say yes, or B, they say no and they feel like they're missing out. And then it'll kind of just make them want to go out and like redeem missing a party or missing something that I invited them to in the early next week. So it kind of like works out at the end.
I like
I
that.
don't know. How do you guys like? I am always nervous inviting someone, unless it's like a bar or somewhere public. I'm nervous inviting someone on a dating app that I've never met before to like someone's party, even my party.
Mhm.
And then like telling like the host, like, hey, listen, do you mind if like someone comes through? Oh, who is she? It's like, oh, this girl like I just matched with on Hinge. Like I feel, I don't know, maybe my friends are judgmental, but like I feel pretty embarrassed doing that.
Yeah, I'd probably say it's like not like a first or second date thing. Like if it was a third date and I was trying to do like an activity with her, like I think I would be fine. But yeah, coming off of like a first date, I probably wouldn't do that on a Friday. First dates are a weekday thing for me anyway. I don't.
Yeah.
Fridays and Saturdays are too valuable to kind of give up on a person that I don't really know.
Yeah. I agree with you. And so as someone who had a not so pleasant experience where the meeting of someone was, you know, with friends, I was like, honestly, it was because I wasn't really excited to like hang out with him alone. I love my friends. You guys have met, well, Scotty, you met my friends. Juan, you will. I love my friends. Like, I'm not willing, to your point, give up my weekend, but I was like, we've been talking a bit. He should come out. It just wasn't, the best experience, and not even so like embarrassed. It's like, why are you even here if you're not going to add to the environment? And like, we always have so much fun. So like, if whoever want to bring around, it's going to have to add and fuel to that fire. So yeah, I would personally, I've definitely learned my lesson where I don't introduce the guy to any of my circle until I'm like, I really like this guy and I want him to be around my friends and see how he gets along with everybody. But it is only when I really like him, not when I'm just kind of testing the waters. No way. Also, like, it's a safety thing as a woman. And secondly, it's just, there's more downside than upside. So, yeah.
So Jess, I have a question. I know you're leading this, but
no.
For both of you, what would you say? Okay, so say you're on a date with someone and then right off the bat, you know, okay, this person is not for me. Like, I'm not into it.
Yeah.
How long do you spend on the date and how many drinks do you have before you just bounce?
Honestly, I check the clock. Within 40 minutes, an hour, I'm out.
Okay. One drink?
I might not finish it.
Okay.
No way. Because it's like you're wasting everyone's time, or you're not into it.
I know, right? And you tell them like when they say like, oh, let's like meet up later.
No.
You say, yeah, hey, I'm not that into it.
No, I just say like, hey, you know, I'll at the moment I'll be like, hey, sorry, like I have made plans and I think I like booked it too closely together, and then I'll just get out. Unless it's like, for example, through a mutual friend that I met them, then I like have to stay for at least.
Yeah, then you gotta stay for sure.
I didn't have to stay for 2 drinks, but if it's just this guy that I met, and then if he reaches out to me again and asks me out, then I'll be like, hey, I really didn't feel it, but like, you know, best of luck and whatnot. And that's kind of how I end it. How about you, Han?
Yeah, I mean, I will usually do like 1 or 2 drinks. I'm also just like always in for a good story. So if someone like I'm not like interested in them, but they are saying some crazy shit. Like, I'm a mermaid. Like, I believe we're descendants from aliens, which has happened before.
Oh my
I
God.
was like, I need to see where this, like, who this person is. I need to figure this out, because then it makes a great story with my friends, not like make fun of the person. But, you know, I think it's probably 2 drinks, 3 drinks max. And then I would say like, oh, sorry, I have other plans, or like, oh, I have to go, or like my sister needs me to meet up with her. My sister lives in the city, so it's always like an easy out, because then,
Love it.
you know, that's yeah, I probably would never spend more than like, okay, this is a question back to you guys then.
Yeah.
What's the max time for a first date? Because I think like I would usually like to cap it at like 2 hours, but sometimes you have those really great dates that go like 3+ hours.
Yeah, Scotty, you want to go first?
I think my average is like 2.5 hours. Yeah, maybe 2.5, maybe 3. But yeah, I mean, also, I mean, if they're the weekdays, I get up super early for work. So yeah, I try and cap it around 3. But if I'm having a great time, like that's special. So
yeah, I think it's.
I always, if I'm having a great time, I'm thinking like, okay, this might be like my future wife. Like, I gotta really take care of this. You know, I'm overly optimistic with someone with a great first date.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a matter of the chemistry. There's no time limit. I think it's been hard because of COVID, where you have a limit. Like, I've been on really great dates where it's literally an hour and a half limit, and you get kicked out, right? So that kind of sucks. So I would say there's no cap. Like, I've been on not first date, but second dates. Like, I mean, recently I went on like a freaking 6-hour date, and it would have ended if I didn't have plans after. So I'm open to it. I don't believe in like cutting shit short if it's going well, right? But I always say end on a high. Like, when you feel like it's about to wrap it up, like you can see them
yeah.
days later, the next week, don't like drag it out, right? But if you're having a good time, like, why not?
The other thing about a 6-hour date is like, that's going to be an expensive bar tab. You know, that's one thing I think about.
But if she's your future wife,
I know.
Oh,
you're right.
Let's talk about, dude.
And then she never talks. Then she never talks to me again, and I hate her. And then
and also, like, you're setting the bar so high. If she is your future date, like, if you're spending like New York $300 on like the first date, what are you supposed to do for the first anniversary? You're gonna like spend like $2,000 on a date. Like, this is. It sets the wrong precedent.
You're right. You're totally right.
I agree. How do you guys feel about paying? Should we go Dutch? Should the guy pay? What are your thoughts?
I have very strong feelings about this.
Juan, hit me. Me
So
too.
I have a strong rule that I always pay for the first 3 dates. I always pay for the first 3 dates. And the reason being is that women put in time and money in ahead of the dates that most guys don't consider. So like, they get their hair done, their makeup done, you know, all that other stuff that we don't really have to do as men. They've already done a lot of that. Like, it might have taken them an hour, 2 hours to get ready for a date. For us, I mean, it takes me like 10-15 minutes to get ready. And like, so when the one thing though that I feel really strongly about, like, go for the reach, like reach for your wallet and show that, like, at least show me that you were intending to pay. Even if you weren't, just lie to me. It'll make me feel a lot better, because I will still tell you, no, don't pay. I have it covered. I invited you. I picked the place. I'm not assuming how much money you make, and I don't know how much you're comfortable paying. So like, I have it covered.
I love that. Scotty.
So I feel very differently. So I guess for me, I mean, I guess when people, I guess girls that spend a lot of money on like hair and makeup and stuff like that and time, I mean, that's just not really my, like, I don't appreciate that as much. So like, I think someone that looks very authentic, doesn't wear a lot of makeup, looks just as good, if not better. And that's sort of like their choice, and you know, how they want to approach the date. I'll always insist on paying, unless, which, you know, I'm totally happy to do, especially if I ask them out. But if they offer to pay, and like, if they do like the reach for the wallet, or like, are you sure? To me, that's like very not authentic. So I don't really, it doesn't matter. Like, if someone insists like, hey, listen, I insist we split it, or I insist, like, you know, no, that never happens. But, you know, maybe they were like late a half hour, and they're like, no, I insist I pay for it. Like, I made you wait. Like, that means so much. It means so much. I love it when it does happen. But yeah, you know, like, I get it. Like, if I ask you out, like, I'll pay for it. Like, I understand the terms.
Yeah.
So I'll like insist to pay unless they insist. and then major brownie points if that's what you're going for.
Mm. I'm gonna play middleman or the in-betweener. I'm 100% with both of you guys in terms of the effort that women put into. I think it's a little bit entitled when girls go, well, I do all this and I do all that, and I buy like $1,000 face cream. To Scotty's point, no one told you to buy $1,000 face cream. You choose to. That's on you. If you want to pay $200 to get your nails done, that's on you, right? But I'm with you where there has to be understanding and respect where women put in a lot of effort in, like, it's not even like it's expensive. It is expensive to be a girl. It's the time and the effort to like get ready and all these other things that we do that you guys really don't, you're really honest one, you just don't have to deal with it, right? The reach, I'm totally with you. As a girl, okay, like don't be a little entitled. Like the guy asked you out, it's a date, it's 2021, you should at least offer, right? Like I think that I'm with you on the reach. However, if I reach and you let me pay, you're not seeing me again because you asked me out. You asked me out. If you didn't ask me out and it was like, hey, let's just catch up as friends or, you know, whatever, that's fine. But if you're trying to court a woman, you're courting a woman, right? You're the one pursuing, you're the alpha, you're the big dog. You should pay. Hard stop. If it's a date, you should pay. I think there's a limit to how many times you should pay, like, you know, whatever you're comfortable with. But as a woman, what you should do is like offer to get the next round. If you go somewhere else, offer to get drinks at the next round, or next time you hang out, bring like a dessert, or I don't know, like little sweet things when like, oh, he's like thinking about something that he's craving or whatever. Next time you go to his place, you can bring that. Like there's so many ways that you could show a guy that you're, hey, like I'm doing my part or I like care about you. But the guy I feel like should lead, if we're talking about a relationship, you're trying to date the woman, do your part.
So Jess, Juan.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Juan. Okay, I'll go ahead. Okay. Sorry. What percent of the time would you say the man from your experience is the man asking the woman out versus the woman asking the man out?
Oh, that's a great question. And that's something that I like, okay, so here's my thing. I'm a little bit traditional in this sense where I want, in my opinion, I want an alpha man, and an alpha man knows like he's the chaser, he's a hunter, right? So I let the guy lead, like, you know, the first couple of dates, like he will lead. When I really do like him and I feel like there's like a mutual attraction, I will come up with cute things that I'm like, hey, he's been wanting to do this, let's do that. Or hey, like I don't know, like walk by this shop or walk by this thing and reminded me of you, we should do a date there. I will suggest, but I definitely want a guy to be leading in the beginning.
You've never asked a guy out on a first date?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure I have. I'm sure I have, but I want to be clear. I want to be clear. I've done it when I wasn't looking for a serious partner. I was just dating and having fun, and I was just hot and someone I wanted to hang out with. That was it. But if I genuinely want to see if it's going to go somewhere real, I'm not asking you out first. Because otherwise I'm doing your job. Right? Like, I feel like it's not, I mean, you tell me if it's attractive for a girl, like, hey, you want to go, and like, she's the one pursuing you. That's like not, in my opinion, that's so not attractive. Wouldn't you be like, I think
it's really attractive when a woman asks.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's super attractive.
It's like, I can't. Okay, Juan, go first.
So the majority of the time, I'm asking women out. And kind of going to add one more note on like the bill piece. It's like when I'm asking girls out, I'm then deciding where we're gonna go to dinner. So I'm basically I like know which places are gonna be like $300 or like $150 for a good date. So like I can control that aspect of it. One thing I don't like is when I ask a girl out and she's like, I want to go here, and it's like a stupid expensive restaurant. Immediate red flag, and I'm not
going.
No, we're not going. I'm not going to go here. Absolutely not. I think it's such bad form. I think it's like really bad manners and just like. Like we're not dumb. It speaks poorly of like your judgment and like what you think of other people.
Yeah, I'm with you. And by the way, I as a woman fully support that. If a girl's like, let's go here, and it's like a 4 or 5 star, even like a 3, I don't even, whatever you want to call it, but super expensive restaurant, like super fancy, super romantic. It's like, are we married? Like I thought we were just like getting to know each other. We're not there yet. So I'm 100% with you. Scotty?
I'm sorry, what? In terms of what was the question?
Oh, you think it's attractive when?
Oh, attractive? Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
First?
Yeah, of course.
Ugh.
I mean, it's never, listen, I mean, it's very rare. So I get asked like, hey, first off, like there's, I'll get a lot of times messages like, hey, so Scott, like, when are you going to ask me out?
Oh, that's
I mean, I
cute.
consider that.
Oh, that's cute.
That's you asking me out.
Right,
As far as I'm concerned.
That's
And if I am getting asked out, if someone's saying like, oh, hey, like, let's go get drinks, I've noticed like most of the time when I have that kind of conversation, it doesn't lead to, oh, well, how about we go here? And then, like I heard there's great reviews. It's like, oh, well, like, let's go get drinks. And then I'm like, okay, sounds great. And then it's like, where should we go? It's like, oh, okay, well, where do you live? Like, what area works for you?
right.
So I don't know. I guess girls obviously have less experience, like how to ask out. But no, I love it. I absolutely love it. Of course, it means you care.
But I have a question, like how, and it could be hot or it could be attractive, but then are you taking these girls seriously? Because I feel, tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel when a guy is interested in a girl, he's gonna step up and ask her out. And if time goes on, like a week or two goes on and like you haven't reached out, I'm just gonna take a lack of interest, just not good timing. It's just, and like for me
Yeah.
to inject and force, it's like, I don't, as a woman, I don't want to be the one dictating the pace of our relationship or getting to know us.
Okay.
Right? I feel like
Yeah, for sure.
you know what I mean? So
Well, for me, for girls, if they ask me out, it just means like, okay, this girl's a lot less interested, a lot more interested.
then
It's
you
gonna be a
are.
lot lower maintenance. Yeah, maybe more interested than I am. Yeah, but like, if it's a girl that I'm kind of on the fence about, and then she asks me out, I'm much more likely to go out with her as opposed to if I'm on the fence there, I'm probably not going to ask her out. So
Right.
you're
Okay.
you're stepping up. You're it's plus one if
Right.
you're asking me out. But it's a lot of work to ask out. And it takes organization and planning. So I get it. Like there's never someone who's like gorgeous, way out of my league who's never asked me out. But I always appreciate it.
Right. Juan, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it gets to look at it, I think, from like my experience, like pre-COVID and post-COVID. So like pre-COVID, if I was at a bar and I didn't even talk to the girl and she like chased me out of the bar afterwards and was like, hey, I thought you were really attractive. You seem like you're having a great time. Here's my number. Call me sometime.
That's cute.
100% I would go out with that person because it's confidence. To me, it's not a matter of like attractiveness. Like it's kind of what I talked about before. It's like she's just exuding confidence. She's like, I really wanted to make sure you got my number before you left tonight. I would definitely go out with that person. In like COVID times where that bar interaction doesn't really exist, I think it's more so of like if I was talking to a girl and like we were texting back and forth that we met on an app and then things kind of fizzled out, but she was actually genuinely interested in going out with me for whatever reason, like it didn't connect with either like timing, schedules, whatever. And then she was like, hey, like when can we get that drink? I would 100% be like right back where I started when I first met that person I was interested in. So I definitely think that women like shooting their shot is a really, really attractive and good thing that they should be doing more often.
All right. Well, I'm so ladies take
one other thing
Oh.
I really appreciate is I guess girls like just randomly adding me on Instagram or randomly DMing me. Like it's just like it never happens. So when it does, it's like wow, like this girl has cojones. I'm definitely gonna, I'm gonna like what's going on. Like I'm so taken aback I mean that's been, I don't know, that's something I appreciate. Not saying you have to do it, but
yeah. No, I mean you guys are definitely giving me more color where I mean I've gotten feedback on this recently. It's funny that we're talking about this where girls also should make more of an effort, right? It shouldn't always be the guys trying to see you, trying to whatever. So yeah, I mean and Scotty and like both of you guys know like I'm on it. Like if I want to plan something, I plan it, right?
Yeah.
I think that when it comes to the dating thing, I try to like take a step back, but there's no point, right? Like I am naturally a planner. I love putting people together. I love like coming up with like fun things to do. So me and every other girl should be able to apply that to their dating life. So awesome. Well, guys, any last words pieces of advice you want to give the ladies, the men, anything that's worked in your profile, anything that hasn't worked, any kind of last bits of advice you want to share?
My last prompt that I had on Tinder was like selling feet pics and I gave my Venmo and as a joke, obviously.
I love it.
But I got blocked I got blocked right away, and now I can't go on Tinder. So be careful. Don't try and sell feed pics, even if you think it's funny.
Oh my God, that's amazing. You don't need Tinder anyway, but that's hilarious. Juan, any final thoughts?
Yeah, so kind of in the same sense. So I set up like a group Hinge profile of like me and my two buddies. I was just like, hey, like let's go out in like a group setting, which received a lot of positive attention. We got a ton of matches. We got banned though from Hinge because apparently it went against their like policy of like their profile or whatever. But I think prompting, group hangs, especially right now within COVID, is actually like so much better because you don't want to just go to like, you're not going to go to someone's house on your own on your first time meeting them. So if you're like, hey, I have this other friend, like, can you find a friend for me and like trade Instagrams? Like, I think that's a really good idea right now. And I think more people should be doing that.
100%. And from a girl's perspective, like a lot of my girlfriends are dying to do that. Like, oh, Jess, like when can we do double, triple date and find us like the people we should get with, like, see or whatever. So yeah, I think on both sides, it's also, for me, it's also low pressure, right? So even, pre-COVID, I just would throw people in a bar who didn't know they were supposed to meet each other, but then they meet each other, and I'm like making sure they meet. Like, hey, Ben, have you met Sarah? Like, XYZ, right? But then I move away, let them mingle. But yeah, you could do the same thing here. It's low pressure, right? It's not awkward. You're still gonna have fun no matter what. You have your buddy there, right?
Right.
So I like that.
And a little extra safety too. It's like overall, I think like group hangs right now are really good.
Do you guys ever remember Squad or Grouper?
Yeah.
Did you ever use those apps?
Yeah.
Or Squad, yeah. They were great. I loved them. It's too bad.
I know, but no, great feedback, guys. Thank you. That actually makes me super excited for things that we can do coming with spring and summer coming. But thank you guys so much. Super helpful. Hopefully the audience can I'm sure they took a lot of notes through this too. So I will see you guys soon. I'm sure. Scotty, when are you back?
I'm back in 3 weeks.
Okay. So work on I call it manventory. Work on the manventory there, and then we'll see you in 3 weeks.
Okay, absolutely.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for hosting.
Thanks for hosting.
Bye,
Nice meeting you, Scott.
guys.
Bye.
Nice meeting you.